The Commentary Booth is a show for media lovers by media lovers just like you. If you want to support the show, go to jamiapsmedia.com. Welcome to the Commentary Booth, the ultimate weekly entertainment recap and review show. My name is Jamie Apps, and each week I'll be joined by a rotating cast of co-hosts to run you through the entertainment media we've consumed during the week. Along the way, we'll provide you with insightful commentary and reviews. This week I'm joined by a freelance social commentator who lists their favourite movie as American Psycho and favourite TV show as Peaky Blinders. Welcome back to the show, Blake Robinson.
Hello world. Happy to be back.
How's everything over there? Been watching lots of tennis, I assume?
Bro, lots of tennis. Pretty pumped for the final tonight, the men's final. Watched the women's final last night. Bit disappointed though. I had a little bit of a wager on Ash Barty pre-tournament to win it. So and she got done real dirty. Can't say I'm too happy about that.
Yeah, that was a bad way to go out.
Yeah, it's very salty, very salty. But yeah, look, just want Osaka to win, which she did. So
yep,
that was a good compromise. Good compromise. At least no Americans won. Sorry to all the Americans listening.
Who's in the men's one? I haven't even paid that much attention.
Yeah, Djokovic and Medvedev. It's gonna be a cracker, bro. Absolute cracker. Yeah, Kane.
Probably have to lean Joker on that one though, slightly.
Yeah, I know he's just a freak, and even though he's a little bit injured, but he's just masterclass. Absolutely hates the hard court, so he's gonna dominate. Should be good. Everyone loves to hate him. I don't mind him, bro. I don't mind the Djokovic.
Yeah, I think just because of the way he acts as I'm the voice of tennis type thing. I think that just gets people nose out of joint.
He's always been a little bit arrogant, but I don't know. It needs it. Tennis is an individual sport. You need a voice. You need a bit of flair. Can't be perfect. I think Federer's given us too good of an idea of a role model for too long. Which he's one of my favourite athletes of all time. Disclaimer.
Yeah.
I love Federer.
But yeah, he was one of those perfect, clean skin.
Yeah. I don't know. Can get about Djokovic. Hate Andy Murray. If we're going to talk about hating tennis players. Story for another day, I guess. Anyway, been watching plenty of mad lately.
Yep.
There's been heaps coming out. It's just good. It's just prime time.
Oh, there's so much stuff coming out now, which is good. We had that period last year where nothing came out, and now they've started to.
No one knew what to do.
Yeah,
how to go about releasing stuff. Now we've got a bit of normality about it. People are all right, straight to streaming. That'll do. It's getting numbers.
Yeah, exactly. People have worked out that. Yeah, obviously we're not going to make the crazy amounts of money that we made by going to cinemas, but we can now at least put some stuff out that probably wouldn't have even got audiences had it not been for the way that they were released.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's better. It's definitely permanently set the stage for what's to come.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to change the way movies are released. Even if it just shortens that window between in-cinema release and then at home, pay $10 and download it, and then another couple of weeks after that, it's on Netflix or whatever. Who cares?
It's be a quick Google search, but I'm be intrigued on streaming service subscription numbers, a bit of a chart, a graph. Surely just absolute skyrocket central.
Oh, I would not doubt that at all.
It'd be bonkers. Hey, speaking of cinemas, I was going to ask if you've been recently, but then I just remembered. There's a new Denzel Washington movie out, The Little Things.
Yep.
I didn't even know. One of my mates brought to my attention, what is going on there? Why isn't it not on my streaming services? It looks sick too. It's got Jared Leto in it, Rami Malek. Looks good.
Yeah, I was meant to go and see it. I was meant to go and see it last week or the week before, but obviously work and the magazine refresh just took up all my time, so I had to hand that one off.
So I'm almost dirty that movies are getting released in cinemas now. It's the tables that turn.
Yeah. I've been seeing mixed reviews for it, though.
Oh, true, true.
Yeah, some people like absolutely love it. Others are like, that was a dud.
Yeah, well, 9 times out of 10, if some people absolutely love it and hate it, then I'll probably love it.
Yeah, you are a bit different like that.
Bro, Denzel and Jared Leto sign me up.
Yeah, Jared Leto is a crazy serial killer, like the best casting ever.
There's got to be more of it. Him and Justin Timberlake, I reckon they've set precedents, and there needs to be more singers turn actors. Who else is there? There's be heaps. I'm just not thinking of any right now.
I think they're probably the main ones.
Ice Cube, obviously. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, Ice Cube is good. Ice Cube is pretty good.
I love to hate an Ice Cube movie, but he's a good actor. I'll give him that.
SVU, he's perfect.
Slim Shady? Yeah, hello? Anyone? He's a good actor.
Have you been watching any sort of new stuff?
Yeah, heaps, man. Where are we going to start? News to the world, maybe? Russell Crowe?
Tom Hanks.
Oh my god, did I say Russell Crowe?
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Yeah, so
What an idiot.
News of the World, the new one starring, it's a strange one, Western drama starring Tom Hanks and Helena Zengel, who is, apparently this was her English language debut.
English language. So I looked her up. I was like, because I had suspicions it was a boy for quite a while watching the movie. I was like, this looks like a little boy that's playing the role of like a girl.
Yep.
But did very well. German?
Yeah, so apparently a German actress, and this was her first English movie. And when she was cast, I think she said that the only Tom Hanks movie she'd ever seen was maybe parts of Da Vinci Code, never like a full movie.
Not even Castaway or Forrest Gump.
Yeah, crazy.
Trust the little German girl to watch a little bit of Da Vinci Code though. So no hate there.
Yeah,
I won't judge. I was distracting me the whole time trying to think of a movie that it reminded me of, and I think I've come to the conclusion of Holes. Do you remember the movie Holes?
Oh, the Shia LaBeouf one?
Yeah, had young Shia LaBeouf in it. I couldn't think of it. It was just the whole movie's out in the desert, Wild West. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, this is big Holes vibes. They're like carrying the carts around, horse and cart.
Yep.
It's very good, bro. I never knew about it until I seen the homepage. I actually looked past it a few times. I was like, yeah, whatever, but very glad I watched it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think when the first time I saw it was. It wasn't long before it came out, and yeah, I think I saw...
It just popped up.
I think I saw like a short, like a 30-second trailer or something. It was on Instagram or something. I was like, oh,
yep.
New Tom Hanks movie coming to Netflix. Yes, please.
He can't do any wrong, can he? I'm struggling to think of a bad movie, like even like half bad.
Yeah, no, he's incredible.
Another very underappreciated Tom Hanks movie was Sully.
Oh, so good.
Bro, why didn't that not get traction? I didn't watch it for a long time, probably because it didn't gain. It was one of those very patriotic ones, I guess, like Americans love a 9/11 movie or something like that, but that was sort of on that.
Yeah, and I think, outside of the US, the Hudson wasn't a big thing.
No, it wasn't, was it?
It was big for like a day or two, and then it just died off real quick.
Good performance, that is surely awards. But what are we thinking about News to the World?
I really enjoyed it. So it's just gonna do a quick summary. It's based on a 2016 novel, which was surprising.
Is it?
That's not a very old novel to be making into a movie.
It's a cool storyline. You can see why they've gone and made a movie out of it quickly.
Yeah, follows a Civil War veteran played by Tom Hanks, who his new job is to ride around to all the western frontier towns with a whole bunch of newspapers, and then he gets there and reads the news for a couple of pennies here and there with people.
Pre-Facebook news.
Oh, God, Facebook news. Don't even get me started.
Remember the olden days when there used to be news on Facebook? But this is like olden days, like pre-Facebook news, so it's a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and like some of the stories that he chooses to read are just so funny.
Yeah, no, he tells it like a story. That's almost like he reads the news like it's a interesting story.
Yep.
See, I thought one of the first, because I think one of the openings
makes it into a performance as well.
Yeah, one of the opening scenes was he was telling a story about like a virus that was killing all these people. I was like, hang on, is this like a COVID sort of spec movie?
Yeah.
So they've done that well, I think. The opening news story he reads out is like his deadly virus capturing all the Wild West towns.
Yeah. And then, so he, along the way, runs into this, like, looks like a wagon that's been ambushed, and he finds this little young girl there.
From an Indian tribe.
Yeah, so she's like this little German girl who's been taken by the Native American Indians, and then he tries to take her to the Civil War army, and he's like, hey, can you like take this girl back to her relatives? And they're like, nah, you do it.
Well, they massacred the family, essentially. That's not a spoiler, that's pretty out in the open. So she doesn't really have a family to go to.
Yeah, she's literally got an auntie and an uncle, and then so Tom gets stuck with the job of, right, I'm going to ride across half of Texas to take this little girl back, and they run into bandits and terrible people along the way. And it's very slow, but like the whole time you're like, how is this going to get through? Because they put enough in there where it's like, there's enough small hurdles where it doesn't seem unrealistic that they're overcoming them.
It was slow, hey. If you just want to watch a movie in the background, probably don't watch it. But at the same time, it's not boring. Like, it was good, like really good.
Yeah, like Zengel's performance is awesome. Tom Hanks is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, they put enough hurdles in their way where it seems like an incredibly difficult task, but none of those hurdles are ridiculously difficult to get over. Like, the three bandits seem hard, and that's about as difficult as it gets.
Yeah, very basic movie, very basic storyline, but at the same time, very interesting. Very good, too. I was very impressed.
The one part I didn't like was at the very end with the big sandstorm.
Yeah, that was weird, eh? And then all of a sudden, all them Indians just appear.
Yeah, I was like, is this that's where it twisted a bit and was like, is this like some weird supernatural bit? But I don't know. Apart from that, awesome.
Then everything seemed a bit rushed towards the end, didn't it? When the girl sort of got turned over, then he sort of took the girl back, and that was sort of it. So it was sort of sped up. Yeah. Anyway, no, hey, it was very good. Very good.
Yeah, highly recommend checking that one out. And I've noticed, over on Netflix, there's a few movies popping now, which is awesome.
There's a bit spoiled at the moment.
Yeah, like I know there's like a couple more that I want to watch. There's a new Australian movie. I think it's called 2067. There's another one called Red Dot, which apparently looks pretty cool as well. So I think I'm set for my next few episodes of, hey, I'm going to just watch movies. Like, there's plenty around.
But have you caught The Dig on Netflix?
No, I keep looking at them and like, that looks interesting, but I haven't actually ever clicked on it.
You're wasting time if you're watching other stuff other than The Dig.
Oh, that good.
It was very good. I didn't know anything about it, but yeah, after I watched a few documentaries in that. So it's set in Britain, and basically this couple buys this property, and there's these big suspicious like dirt mounds, which turn out to be grave sites where they think it was like Viking burials.
Oh.
And so they hire this guy. He's like an excavator. Is it Ralph Flyness? I recognise him.
Fiends or something. I don't know. He's got one of those weird names where you're like, how do I say that?
You know who it is, but you don't know the name. Like, you'd recognise him. He's in Grand Budapest Hotel. That's where I know him from. But so he's this digger, like an excavator. So they hire him. The family hires him to dig up these graves, and they ends up being Anglo-Saxon time, so pre-Vikings, and it's very interesting. Very interesting. So it's very, very historical. It was actually it's based on a true story from like 1939, and the excavation of, they call it Sutton Hoo. So they buried this king inside his ship in these fields. Very interesting. It's very nerdy for like British history. It's very good film. Wholesome again.
I do love a good like based on a true story movie.
Yeah, who else has got any? Carey Mulligan. Yeah, that's her. She plays Daisy in Great Gatsby with Leonardo DiCaprio. She's the blonde girl.
Yeah, she's in Promising Young Woman that I've watched recently as well.
Yeah, Pride and Prejudice. She's probably known best for, but yeah, she's in it. Yeah, very good film. I highly recommend. It doesn't go forever or two from memory, but yeah, wholesome. Couple of little other little love stories entwined in it. Bit of war, heartbreak. It's got everything. I like it. I really enjoyed it.
Nice. That's yeah. Okay, you've convinced me. I'm gonna click play on it this time. Next time I'm on Netflix, I'm gonna actually hit play on it for a change.
Perfect Sunday Arvo film.
Like I've skipped over it so many times.
No, I don't know. I didn't even. I swear I just seen it. I was like, yeah, what's this? This would do.
Yeah, I'll watch it next weekend. I think Lauren's probably sick of me watching crazy movies at the moment. So
Wrestling.
I try not to watch that on the weekend before we watch. But we've watched crazy movies like another one that we want to chat about, Wrong Turn 2021.
Yeah, look.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what to think of that. I just literally kept taking wrong turns as far as the plot goes.
100%.
Like it started off like it was gonna be very high quality, like sort of thriller. But then it just started getting real weird. Then they brought in those like the tribesmen up in the hills, and I was like, this is just getting out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's sci-fi without being sci-fi. It's sort of, I don't know. It got a bit excessive. Like when I say excessive, like Final Destination excessive. Would that be a good way to put it?
Yeah, some of the murders got a bit ridiculous.
Like a bit humorous.
Like I went into it and I was like, oh yeah, I remember the Wrong Turn, like the original.
It looks sick.
Like okay, I'm gonna watch this, and they would. When I got all the info emailed, it was like, oh, that's a reboot and the 7th installment. So like, in my head, I'm like, okay, it's just gonna be essentially the same plot as the original, but they're going to refresh it and revamp it so like people have mobile phones and whatever. But they don't. It's a totally different story. It's literally just like...
It was mental, eh? It was mental.
The original Wrong Turn series ends here. We're starting again, but we're keeping the name. Like, just give it a different name.
Almost like Halloween. Like, just drop Halloween and just call it something else. Like, yeah, Mike Myers is in it, but is it Halloween?
Yep.
Like, or not the new one's good, but there was a few in there that probably shouldn't have been Halloweens.
Yeah, so I think, like, the only thing that makes this a Wrong Turn movie is it follows 6 friends. They go out for a random hike in the bush, this time on the Appalachian Trail, and then they just begin getting hunted down by these tribes people known as... In this one, they're known as the Foundation, and they're a self-sufficient community who've obviously lived in this mountain range for hundreds of years. They hate any outsiders.
Doomsday Preppers? You could call them Doomsday Preppers before Doomsday Preppers was a thing.
100%.
Like pre-Civil War Doomsday Preppers, so they sort of saw the Civil War as the end of America and they were going to do things their own way. That's when it was from, wasn't it? Civil War?
Yeah, so they're Doomsday Prepper conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, it was it's different. It's weird. Too many. They didn't follow. I don't know. I thought it was going to be like a pretty solid thriller.
Yeah,
a bit cheesy, very cheesy.
It didn't explain enough of like how that foundation came to be.
Yeah, they just sort of appeared.
How they managed to survive up there for so long without like people being like, screw this, you keep killing anyone that comes into the mountains.
They could have extended it, made it like a mini-series with 30-minute episodes, I think. So you get more of an idea of what's going on.
Made the town in on it type thing. Like,
yeah, that's what I was hoping for.
It gets to that point where at the start you think the town's in on it, and then about 2/3 of the way in, it switches and they're like, oh yeah, we know they're up there, we just don't go up there. It's like,
yeah, it was
what?
Like, why didn't you start from the start?
Like, warn people.
They gave the impression that everyone was in on it, but then all of a sudden, oh no, we just know about it. Like,
yeah,
why
like,
didn't you tell us?
Like, warn me. Tell me not to go up there. Like, the biggest warning they give you is don't go off the path.
And if you're gonna watch it, stick around for the closing credits, because I nearly turned it off, but I had a feeling there was something going to happen.
Yeah, you got to watch the credits to the end.
Did you turn it off, or did you watch it? Yeah, I was lucky I kept going. But yeah, it's a different one. If you do watch, it wasn't horrible. It was entertaining.
Yeah, it's entertaining, but yeah, like
just bit different. Took a different turn, if you will, to what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and if you remember the first Wrong Turn, like the original, it was all about like inbred cannibals. It was super gory, whereas this one has gore elements, but not as much, and it's got much more like of a political message as well about like society and
definitely
what like makes you valuable.
Yeah, I enjoyed it until and to the tribes people come into it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So it could have been heaps better if it was actually the people from the town hunting. Well, I guess that's a spoiler, but live with it.
If the town was more involved, I think it would have had a more impact at the end. But yeah, not terrible, but not amazing.
Yeah, not terrible. Glad I've seen it. Trailer was promising, but
yeah, maybe just wait for streaming for that one. Don't pay the rental fee. And then on to, I'm thinking slightly more positive with this one, but I am mixed about it as well. You were saying some documentaries.
Yeah, the crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
About the Cecil Hotel in LA. That was actually pretty good. It was a lot like Don't F with Cats. If anyone watched that, the whole time I was thinking about that. So like the social justice warriors taking detective matters into their own hands essentially and doing online investigations to try and solve the crime themselves in a Facebook group.
Yeah, it's all about the YouTube detective type things.
Conspiracy video, yeah, like everyone's watched the video about what happened to the disappearance and they're like, well, the police aren't doing anything about it. They're not very public about it, so we're going to take matters into our own hands and try to solve it.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Four parts, like 4 50-minute episodes. Very good.
Yeah, like it was good, but it also...
Probably not... They've definitely made it more interesting what it was, though. They've dragged it out and made like a big thing out of it, like a series out of it when it probably didn't deserve it.
Exactly what I was thinking, like...
Yeah, it didn't really deserve the effort they put into it, which they put a lot of effort and like into the... What would you call it? The recreating of scenes and whatnot. But they put it together. They put it together very well, let's just say that, to make it interesting. When it really, the end result and the whole situation itself isn't really that fascinating.
Exactly. That last episode is like, oh, that's all.
Yeah. I was heaps interested in it when I probably wouldn't have been. If I seen it on the news, I would have just like changed the channel, I guess. Yeah, that's cool. Like, no shit. Like someone went missing.
Yeah, because like those first 2 episodes make it look like Elisa Lam, who's the main sort of topic of it.
I was trying to think of... I can't remember it happening. So that's... Man, I did make international news, obviously. I would have remembered it.
Yeah, so she disappeared in 2013, I think it was.
So it's not that long ago. I would have remembered it.
Yeah, so she disappears and then there's all these weird, like, security footage and things like that. And those first 2 episodes make it seem like there's some weird supernatural or sinister thing at play, and then the more that they start to talk to the actual detectives that know exactly what bloody happened, it's like, oh, no, it's not so sinister. Like, yes, it's still an unsolved crime as if anyone else was involved, but they're pretty sure she just...
They fed you unnecessary, like, made-up conspiracies, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those first 2 episodes are all about the conspiracies, and then the last 2 episodes are all about, no, here's the actual facts, this is what happened. It's a sad story.
I reckon they did Skid Row pretty dirty. They dragged Skid Row through the mud, I reckon.
Bro, Skid Row is sketchy.
I know, but they did not need to do Skid Row like that.
Yeah, they made it sound a lot worse than it is, but when I was in LA when was I there, like 2018 or something? So only like 5 years after this apparently all happened.
It's third world poverty. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. You mentioned you had something.
I stayed at a hotel that's like a kilometre away from the Cecil Hotel.
I was thinking you were going to say you stayed at the Cecil, but I was like, nah, because it's shut in, it's like 2017?
Yep. So I stayed in this hotel that was very nice for downtown LA.
Downtown's sketchy, bro.
Oh, very. So I'm like, one morning I was like, right, I'm going to go for a walk. Went down to like IHOP for breakfast, went back to my hotel, got changed and whatever, and I was like, right, I'm just going to walk around town and just have a look at like, I wanted to go down to like the farmer's market and stuff and just have a look and just get coffee and whatever because I had time to kill during the morning. Walking around, turned like one random corner because I was trying to find the last bookstore that Elisa went to as the last place that she ever went to.
Oh, yeah.
Great to see that on a documentary about someone dying and you're like, I went there, great.
Yeah.
So I'm like walking around trying to find this bookstore, turn this one corner, being like, oh, it must be down here. Turn a corner and just Skid Row. I was like, maybe not going down this way.
Yeah, they don't care about you down there. I
was like, I'm going to turn around. I'm going back this way. And then that's when I found the bookstore and Dude, if you're ever in LA and in downtown LA with time to kill, go to the Last Bookstore.
Yep.
It's the coolest bookstore I've ever been to. It's like 3 or 4 levels and massive. So many books, like ridiculous amounts of books. All of these like winding passages and stuff. There's like shelves with holes in them so you can like take photos through the books and everything. Like, it's the coolest bookstore I've ever been to.
Big Diagon Alley vibes.
Very. Yeah, like just that many books where you're like, I could easily get lost in this place.
But at the same time, don't go wandering downtown LA if you don't really know where you're going.
Yeah, top tip.
It's a problem. Don't spend too much time downtown unless you're going to Staples Center.
Yeah, like now looking back on it, the 2 times I've been to LA, I wandered around downtown. Probably not the smartest idea. Like the first time I went to LA, I stayed in Hollywood, like just off Hollywood Boulevard.
See, Hollywood's not much better itself either than downtown.
Yeah, I think the way you get away with it in Hollywood, though, is there's that many people and that many cameras and stuff. If anything happens, people are going to find out. Whereas downtown LA is just like, you could be wandering around there and see no one for ages. So yeah, like the first time I went there, I caught the subway. Also, terrible idea in LA.
Bro, I've never caught railway in LA.
Caught it from Hollywood down to the downtown LA station to go to Staples.
Yeah.
That subway is disgusting and sketchy as. Don't recommend doing that.
It's probably the last thing I'd think of doing in LA. That or the bus.
I've done the bus as well. The bus from Hollywood to
You have no fear.
to Beverly Hills, but I was on a tour group with that one, so that one wasn't terrible.
Yeah, no,
But yeah,
that's right.
the subway from Hollywood to downtown, sketchy. And then you get out on downtown station and you're like, ooh, there's people living down here. This is gross.
See, I've caught subway from like Manhattan to Brooklyn and around the traps there, and it's just, I felt safe. It's weird, even though there were sketchy people around. It's like Brooklyn wasn't the safest, but I don't know. It just felt normal. The normal thing to do. There's a lot of lower class, middle class, and upper class, like multi-million-dollar Wall Street types just catching the subway. Like, it's just the thing to do.
I think that's the biggest difference. Like, New York, everyone catches it. LA, everyone drives.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, subway in New York, it's just that's what you do.
Yeah, whereas the subway in LA, the only people that catch it are the homeless and the really poor. So I caught it because I was a poor ass student. So caught it down to Staples, got out. That's sketchy. Right, caught it back.
What'd you go to at Staples? Did you go to a game of any description or just go check it out?
I went to SummerSlam.
Oh, was that at Staples? Huge.
Yeah, they used to run their SummerSlam show at Staples every year.
Yeah, it's hectic.
So I managed to sort of book the flights and the hotel and everything around it without like having the tickets, and then once tickets went on sale, I just got whatever tickets I could get.
Yeah, laughing. Yeah, that's sick. I didn't realise that was there.
My most recent one, I stayed in downtown LA because I was at the Globe Theatre 3 nights in a row.
Yeah.
So it was easier just to stay right around the corner from it and just walk there.
Was that where the wrestling was? Globe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Interesting. Wouldn't have thought it'd be there.
Yeah, so that was fun. Just did that. But yeah, if you're wandering around LA, maybe either have Google Maps or just don't.
Don't wander.
But in terms of The Vanishing, I recommend watching it, but don't get wrapped up in those first 2 episodes because you'll be very disappointed with the ending.
Yeah, no, it was, they made something out of nothing, but it was a good something. I enjoyed it. It was good. Keep them coming, I reckon. Just find mediocre crimes and make conspiracies out of them, please. I enjoy it.
I'm sure there's plenty of those, like...
Oh, bro, there'd be so many out there. We need some Australian ones.
And I'm sure there's plenty of those, like, internet sleuths where, like, they've actually managed to solve the crime because of the internet.
You just reminded me. The head internet sleuth. It was like that one that was, like, overly compassionate. It made it so uncomfortable to watch. It was, like, almost creepy.
Oh, the bloke that was, like, in love with her creepily.
Yeah, bro. His expression was just, like, worried and concerned the whole time.
And like he was family. Like, what are you doing?
We love you. We love you at least. Like, you never met him, bro. it was weird, man. I was like, yeah, internet sleuth. That's one way of putting it.
Internet stalker creeper.
Yeah, I was just thinking of when I said we should do it. Like, there should be some Australian ones. Link Cafe Siege. Surely there's some conspiros about that. That could be a 4-part miniseries.
Yeah, that little boy that went missing, I'm sure there's plenty of, like, internet sleuths trying to solve that.
William Tyrrell.
Yep.
Yeah, that's sus, bro. Oh, well, we got the Madeline McCann one. Look how interesting that was. There's got to be conspiracies around William Tyrrell. There's the exact same thing.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Who do we talk to? Let's propose this. William Tyrrell Netflix.
I don't know, we'll have to talk to Leah. She's all on the true crime stuff. She'd be up on.
Mm-hmm. Jeez, we need to get around that. Yeah, I'll watch that for sure. I've watched heaps of other random stuff too. You know me, I'm a sucker for something I've watched 10 times. I'll go watch it again. But no, I've watched for the first time, believe it or not, The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Is that the war one where they're like trying to break the code? The Enigma machine or something?
Yeah. So I watched a few World War II movies. I watched that and Midway. Remember Midway? I remember fantasizing over the trailer when it came out for ages. It's like a different perspective of Pearl Harbor. So it's about like the Pearl Harbor attacks, but it focuses more on how they didn't know the attack was coming.
Okay.
So Pearl Harbor, the movie Pearl Harbor, focuses on Ground Zero Pearl Harbor, like what happens on the ground. Yeah, and just life in Pearl Harbor, where this is like more on the attacks itself, and doesn't really. It shows the like they recreate the attacks, but then it focuses on more afterwards, and like the intelligence side of things, like how didn't you know about this? It's very good movie, very well made, good graphics and CGI. I watched that. And what else? I watched another war movie. Jeez, I love to remember what it was. Another World War II movie. But yeah, I was just watching a few of those.
Another old one that you'd already seen?
Yeah. Oh no, I finally watched 1917. Can you believe it?
Oh, bro.
What was I waiting on? Are you kidding me?
How good?
Oh
How good is it?
God. Bro. Yeah, because I was obviously aware of the one take, one camera shot. So I was like focusing on that the whole time. Do you reckon you would have noticed it otherwise if you weren't aware of it? Because I was heavily focused on waiting for something to, like a different scene. It was super impressive.
Yeah, I think if I hadn't known about it going in, I probably wouldn't have focused on it. But knowing that, when I knew that's how it was shot, I was specifically stupidly trying to spot the cuts.
I watched a couple of mini docos on YouTube about like the filming of it, and I was just so impressed. Like, they put so much effort into it. Like, there was a couple of scenes where they had to get like the lighting right for where he was going to be running at a certain point. So they had like big floodlights, and it was a lot of planning gone into it. And they had to make sure he ran at a certain pace to like make sure he was going to end up at the location by the time it stopped filming. That a lot put into it. It's just mind-boggling how they did it, and it come out perfect. Oh yeah,
way more effort than just shooting in the regular way.
And of course, it was based on the director's his pop, the stories his grandparents told from the war.
Yeah,
so it was like very meaningful movie. Yeah, bro, why didn't I watch it sooner? They would have been sick in cinemas.
It was incredible in the cinema. Yeah, I got to see it early in the cinema. It was awesome. Like, as soon as I got the invite for that, I was like, I'm in. I'm not missing this one.
Another one I can't believe I haven't seen is Dunkirk. That's next. I don't know why I haven't watched it.
1917 is a better movie, but Dunkirk is good. Do you have a surround sound system?
Yeah. So is Dunkirk good for that?
So is 1917. You need the big sound and the immersive sound.
I was proper impressed. Yeah, I was like, this is sick. I was actually a bit angry at myself that it took me so long.
Yeah, after you watch it, like, why did I wait so long for this?
Yeah, I was a little bit upset. I was frustrated. I don't know, but that's like I said, I'll go watch American Psycho for the 120th time instead of watching 1917.
Yeah. And we've been watching Servant. Yeah, don't spoil the most recent episode. I've caught up, but I haven't seen the most recent one.
I only watched it late last night too. I forgot to watch it on Friday.
Yes, I've seen right up until, what's it called? Espresso or something, I think the latest one's called.
Yeah, Espresso. It's very slow going.
It is a very slow season compared to last season.
it's probably only the last 3 episodes they've been cliffhangers. Like they've shown you something at the end. They're like, oh, I need to watch the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, it's the last 2 episodes are starting to heat up.
Okay, yep.
I just don't know how long it's going to go for. I don't want it to slowly rise and get to like a peak, then just be 1 episode and that's it. I want it to sort of keep going.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Geez, it's slow going, but I'm hanging on. We're up to 7, 6. I just watched 6 last night. Does it say how many's out? Does it say how many's coming? Sorry.
It just says there's episode 7 coming on Friday, but I think they're usually like 10, aren't they? I think the first season was 10.
You'd have to be. Like, I can't say it's been shorter.
But yeah, so far it's good. Probably not as good as season 1, but still.
You need to be really interested in it and like a fan of it to enjoy it. I think if you're just like half and half and sort of watching it, but I'm like I really like season 1. It captivated me.
Yeah.
So I'm like all in on season 2 at the moment.
When I knew I was talking to you, I caught up and I got to watch 2 episodes in a row.
Yeah, you need to be doing it in a row, I reckon. I reckon that's the hack. Just miss a week and catch up.
Exactly. Watching 2 in a row was way better than just watching 1. I was like, oh, I actually get into this a bit more, especially because they're such short episodes. Like, by the time you sort of...
30 minutes.
I'm into this, it ends. You're like, oh.
I was thinking too, because it's pretty much the whole 90% of things filmed in the house. I'd love to go to that house, like, on set. You know, like, they do, like, you know, people want to go to the Seinfeld house or... Yeah, just like everybody loves Raymond House. I'd love to go to the Servant House, just like a little tour.
Yeah, and the like the Breaking Bad house, and people go and kept throwing pizzas on the roof.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just big fan of it. I like the set. It's sick.
Yeah, it's a cool looking house.
So yeah, we're just chipping away at that.
Yeah, well, next time we talk, it'll be finished, so we'll be able to sort of give proper impressions on what the season, if it was worth it in the end.
Well, I'm recommending Servant because it's like you've got to. You just watch the first season. It's ridiculously good.
Yeah. So is that your top recommendation for the week or?
No. See, that's no, it's not. I reckon. I don't know. This is tough. I reckon News of the World. I was impressed by it.
Yep. Yeah, that's my pick for this week. News of the World for sure.
Yeah, it's slow going, but it was very good. Very good Russell. I say Russell Crowe. Why do I keep? I reckon he looks like an older Russell Crowe, like a 2020 Russell Crowe. You know, he looks like he's put on a bit of weight. He's got like the 3-day growth. That's what's catching me here, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure Tom Hanks loves being compared to Russell Crowe.
Jeez, I wouldn't mind it. Russell Crowe is iconic, bro.
Yeah, if you like people that throw telephones.
Or Gladiator.
Or heavily involved with the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Who have poached my Benji Marshall. That's a story for another day.
Yeah, that's got to sting a little bit.
No, I'm not impressed because he played well last night too in the All-Stars. I need to have words with their front office.
Yep. Yeah, so like I said, News of the World for me.
Yeah, watch that. If you got time, watch The Dig.
Yep.
That's very good. Almost on par. 2 Netflix originals that have just killed it.
Yeah, so that's about it. Thank you everyone for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. If you've been following me, I have a new social media account now. I'm available on Jamie Apps Media as my main one for the umbrella that covers this show, the commentary booth, as well as my magazine that I've just, on Friday, just put out the launch. Everyone knows what it is now. It's no secret. It is at Pario Magazine. We're all about creative people over there. That's going to be available around the Illawarra, Southern Highlands, Shoalhaven area. I'm hoping for the first week of March, but it'll depend on how the printer goes. Hopefully he can turn it around quickly for me.
COVID strikes again, I bet. Oh, it looks exciting.
There's a lot of work, but it's all up and great time to try and launch a new magazine.
I definitely want consistent coffees on the coffee table for myself. Definitely.
Gotta love when Facebook decides that you can't put news on our platform anymore right as you're launching a new magazine. Like, thanks, guys.
Some of the pages they've taken down is just bonkers.
Oh, yeah, like thankfully both of my feeds have survived for now, touch wood.
I think Batuta survived somehow, didn't they?
No, they got done. Yeah.
Oh, I heard they did. I was like, how? Because that was the first thing.
Yeah, Batuta got done. The Shovel got done. The Professional Darts Corporation got done.
Some doozies like SES and like proper like alert pages.
The Bureau of Meteorology.
I think it looks like, from what I've seen, the government's been working with Facebook, and it's looked like it's slowly coming good. So we'll get out of it. Not that I have Facebook these days.
The Sydney Wrestling Company got, like, Pro Wrestling Australia. Theirs got wiped out. Melbourne City Wrestling got wiped out. It's literally like, have you posted a link that has a .au in it recently, or do you constantly post .au links?
It's got to be how they've done it. Something.
Yeah, if you've posted .au links, they've just gone, you're out. And then I'm assuming they're going to slowly like scale that back and be like, oh wait, prowrestlingaustralia.com.au has zero news on it. It's literally just videos hyping up the next show. Like, it's no different to an event or music page.
Websites do exist. I know for smaller corporations and whatnot, it's easier for Facebook, but yeah, the big dogs, they're loving it. They're like, hey, do you know we have a website? Come here and subscribe.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, it's been good for the big dogs survive, but like the smaller publications just get screwed because Facebook might have been where they had their largest audience. Like,
yeah, but from what I've seen, it looks like it's going to come out the other side, right?
Yeah, thankfully for me, Instagram is my biggest one. Heaps of people that I've seen have shifted over there this week.
Since getting rid of my Facebook and Instagram, I've just chipped in Twitter, and I'm here to stay.
Alrighty, so yeah, you can follow me on social media at Jamie Ups Media, at Pario Magazine. You can follow Blake over on Twitter at Captain Crumbs with a Z.
Happy days.
The Commentary Booth is a fan-funded production of Jamie Ups Media. You can support the podcast alongside our new magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/Jamie Ups Media. The following people have supported at the publisher level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support. Brian and June Hart, Courtney Paulson, Tracy Apps.